Hi everyone, I'm Andy LaCivita, founder of Mile Walk and the Mile Walk Academy and award-winning author of The Hiring Prophecies. In today's episode, we're going to talk about thanks and thank yous and how to write a thank you that gets you hired. Before we do that though, I want to give thanks to you. The fact that you're following me, you're watching this at this very moment, I realize that everybody competes for your attention. You have limited time, and the fact that you'd spend some of it with me or following me or watching this or sharing this or whatever it is that you've done to support me and my work over the years, I truly, truly appreciate it. I do it for you. I could never do it without you. And so I want you to know that I'm grateful and I huge thank you to you. I also want to congratulate you. It may sound silly, but the fact that you are watching this means you're investing time in your life and in your career, and you want to get better, and I want to help that. So I really want to give you a shout out for that. Now, today, we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of people struggle with. At least I've noticed it with our job candidates and the candidates that I prepare for interviews with employers, is what to do when you want to thank the employer after a job interview. Now, I noticed, or you probably have encountered, or have you ever experienced these challenges? I think there are four of them. You know, how do I thank the employer? When do I thank the employer? What do I say? What medium do I use? You know, should I handwrite a card or should I send an email or do both? Well, today I'm going to demystify all of that for you. I'm going to teach you the two most important aspects related to any thank you. I'm also going to teach you the three benefits of thanking somebody. There are actually three of them. I'm not sure if you're aware of them, but there are three. And I'm very geeked up about this. I'm going to teach you exactly how to thank them, as in the exact words to use. So I have a free download that has some tips and instructions and the exact format and language. So I hope you follow along. I hope you download that. I hope you use it. I hope it's helpful. I want to tell you a little bit about how this came about. I am an executive recruiter. For the last 12 years, and even well before that, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like you find their passions and their purpose in life so that they could lead rewarding careers and fulfilled lives. And I'm doing that even more so now, and trying to reach out to more people so that I can impact them. And through doing this, over the course of my career as a recruiter, I've helped more than 11,000 people. I've coached them in some way, shape, or form on improving their career, and I've reached even thousands and hundreds of thousands more through my blog and now through these videos and my podcast, and how to really maximize the gifts you've been given and work efficiently so that you can bring your gifts to the world and give the world what you were meant to give this world. And in doing that, as part of that process, I've coached many thousands of people for many, many thousands of interviews. And in that process, I've effectively perfected the thinking process, at least based on what I've seen my clients react to and the hiring companies and the success that the candidates that we prepare have had. And to give you an idea of how successful these candidates have been, just based on industry averages, our candidates who have been prepared by us and have thanked employers in the manner that we recommend have outperformed the market by 233%. And if you're wondering where a statistic like that comes from, it's simply professional averages of how many job candidates an employer has to interview in order to hire somebody. So we've measured our performance and our candidates' performance against that, and they're 233% better. And not all of that can be attributed to the thanking process, but the thanking process is one element that I think really can contribute that. So let's dive in. Those two important aspects I was talking about. Any thank you that you give to anybody, but especially an employer, has to have two things: speed and thoughtfulness. Speed is how quickly you respond after your interview. I recommend 24 hours. And I realize that some of you might not be able to do that for various reasons and scheduling issues, but trust me when I tell you, speed is extremely important. The second thing that needs to accompany speed is thoughtfulness. That's the care in the words that you put, the energy that you put into that thank you Was it thoughtful? Was it meaningful to you to be able to express that gratitude for their time and their education on their company and all the things that go along with that? The other thing that you need to understand about these two elements is one without the other typically renders your thankful meaningless from a benefit perspective. Here's what I mean. If you exit an interview, you walk down the street and 5 minutes later you type a one-line thank you email, that's fast, that's speedy, but there's not much thought into it. The employer probably gets that and thinks he or she did that out of obligation as opposed to really genuinely taking the time and care to send me something meaningful. And the other extreme, sending something 4 or 5 days later, it's thoughtful, but it's ineffective because it's so slow. They've already put you out of their mind. And a reminder 4 days later isn't really going to help your cause. So there's those two things, and I think you need to, you need to be aware of those because every thank you has to have an element of those two things. Now I mentioned three benefits of writing a thank you. The first one is you actually get to thank somebody, and there's benefit in that. You are developing a connection. You are developing a little bit of a bond with them, thanking them for their time. Thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed meeting you, and thank you for helping me better understand you and your organization. That's what I'm talking about. That's the first element. The second element, well, actually, let me back up. With that first element, if you think about thanking them, everybody's going to thank them. So by thanking them, by sending them a thank you, you're effectively on par with everybody else because everybody's going to thank them. But the second element is where I think you can really score your points. The second element is where you get to talk about you get to sell you get to reinforce why you're the best candidate for the job, you get to remind the employer. This is where you talk about why you're the best match, why you'll be a fantastic fit. So the second component of thanking somebody is, I would be a fantastic match because, and then talk about something that you and the employer or the job interviewer or job interviewers talked about during your interview, and give them a reminder so that they can recollect why you're such a great fit. People love to be reassured that they're making good decisions. Help them do that. Give them a reminder. One other thing you can do that is a really nice technique is if you didn't get a chance to talk about something that is important that you think would add to your candidacy, is bring it up in the thank you. It's a little bit of additive information. But the thing you want to make sure is you realize in this section of the thank you, remember what's so awesome about writing a thank you, and especially this part of the thank you, is no one is asking you a question. You get to totally own this portion of the thank you process, so own it. You get to say whatever you want to say. So now think through what you think would be the best thing to remind the employer, and be specific in that middle section of the thank you. Remind them about how you would be a fantastic match. And then the third element is you also get to sell yourself here a little bit by helping the employer understand your level of enthusiasm. So give them some reassurance that you are interested in the opportunity. So to close up your thank you, tell them, I want to let you know, after speaking with you, I'm much more interested in the opportunity because. Then give them some valid reasons so that you're not just saying it, you're actually giving them a rationale behind why this is great for you. So there are the three things that you essentially want to get into a thank you. Thanking them for their time, expressing why you'll be a fantastic match, that's your little sales pitch, and then reassuring the employer that you're interested in the job. Now, how you want to do this in the format, I'd like to roll in a little story about me. Last job that I had before I opened Mile Walk, I'd interviewed with a consulting company. I went to the interviews. I interviewed with about 8 or 9 people. After each one of which was not all in one day, after each one of the interviews, I sent them an email thank you that was just like the content that I just mentioned. And then I also sent them each a handwritten card. And I got the job. I went to work there. And on the first day, I walked around the office and I wanted to say hello to everybody. I'm a sociable guy that way, so I wanted to say hello to everybody. say, hey, I'm really looking forward to working with you. And as I walked around the office, I noticed that every one of them had the thank you card on their desk. And I said to every one of them, oh my God, wow, I'm touched you kept my thank you card. And they all said virtually the same thing. They said, well, of course, it was so thoughtful and what you wrote was so nice and it was touching. And honestly, I've never gotten one before. So it was kind of a big deal for me. So just keep that in mind. What you might think is common sense isn't always common practice. So trust me when I tell you that sending them something physical is really going to, I think it helps, because to actually have to physically open something, I think that makes a difference. Even if they just pitched the card after you sent it, they'll remember that you sent it. And so it has value there, and it was much more thoughtful. So I think you've got a little sense. What I like to do, one other thing I'd like to add is, when I write that email, and I send that email because it's quick and it gets to them right away, and then I add a little line at the bottom that says, by the way, I dropped a little card in the mail for you. You should be getting it in a couple days, because I think that you want to have that speed, so you want to send that email, but you also want to follow up something even more thoughtful as that card. So now we've talked about the do's. Let's talk a little bit about the don'ts. So I've hit a couple of these already. So don't send a one-liner. It's fast but not thoughtful. Don't send a one-pager. That's actually too long. Don't solely send a card that'll get there too slowly. And whatever you do, don't forget to proofread it a couple times. Maybe even have somebody else proofread it if you're going to handwrite it especially. But spell checkers will only go so far. You can have correctly spelled words that aren't the correct words that you want to use. So you want to be really, really careful. So I hope you really enjoyed this. If you like this video, please share it. One or two other things, there's a download in the show notes, whether you're looking at this on the blog or watching it on YouTube or on my podcast. There's a download there to a free thank you template. It's got some tips and tricks that I mentioned today, as well as the exact language that you can use when thanking the employer. And if you want to go one better, instead of just a short little guide, I've written a whole book dedicated to interviewing well, called Interview Intervention Communication That Gets You Hired. I give it away free, an ebook, to anybody who subscribes to my blog, The Tips for Work and Life. And I also have a book experience that I created that not only has that ebook, but also has all the audio for all the chapters, so you can hear me in your ear or listen to it on your way home on the train or in traffic in the car. And if you go to the Mile Walk Academy, it's milewalkacademy.com, and check out Interview Intervention. Just click Learn More and get the free offer. You'll have the audio, the ebook, my chapter notes, some guides, other great helpful things. So I hope you enjoyed this, and until next week, have a great one.